Club that's happening right there. Why they doing it?
You're good, Paula. It looks like. Hold on. Yep, we're good. Let me turn this down. If you if you guys are live, just put your other devices on volume low so it causes a crackle. But we're gonna give the people a few moments to come on. Dang, I was supposed to do something. JP, this is your information.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.
It's accurate.
Paula?
Yes, accurate.
Cool, good stuff. So we're just gonna give the people a few minutes to come on in. We have some bright stars in the building today. And I am excited, super excited. Hey, babe, thanks for always being the first to log in. It is so encouraging to have you log in the other room. Come on, glory to God. Appreciate you for showing us support and love. And I cannot wait to extract some genius from these two brilliant people today. They're going to help me and they're going to help everybody that's listening today. So we are excited. We are excited to have them on. Everybody that's logging on, please share. Please share. Please share this live with Miss Paula and my boy JP. Gonna have a little fun today. Gonna have a little fun today, man. We're about to, y'all about to see the brains behind some success. What it looks like just to the everyday person. In 2020, every successful person isn't wearing suits. These days, you know, most of us are sitting behind computers, having virtual conversations and helping each other and building brands. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. So just, we're going to do another 30 seconds and then we're going to get started because I don't know about y'all, man. I'm hungry. I am hungry today. I am super hungry and I can't wait, man. So, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have John Paul Moore of JP Designs Art, and we have Miss Paula Alford of Candy Flavas. And they're going to share a little bit about their business and what they do shortly. But today we're going to be discussing branding. We're going to be defining, giving some clarity and understanding. We're going to share some tips about things we can do to expand what we are doing in our businesses, how we can grow our businesses, streams and platforms we can use, maybe to save us some time, maybe to save us, you know, stocking inventory in our homes when we contract with companies that can actually produce and ship things out. So thank you everybody for logging in. Shout out to my boy Haas. Shout out to my boy Haas. Shout out to Pastor O. Thank you guys for joining in. Shout out to Rashad down in VA. Thank you, brother. Thank you for joining in. We got people from various parts of the country joining in. JP, I see Mom up here.
Yeah.
I see Mom. She's out here chilling. And man, thank you everybody for joining in. Please share. Shout out to Tim Arrington. What's up, my boy? Thanks for logging in today, bro. Looking forward definitely to your commentary. Man, okay, guys. So here's why I'm excited. I've had the opportunity to work with both of them. I'm so excited that I'm yelling and I don't have to. So I've had the opportunity to work with both of them. Many have complimented me on our church's logo. JP is the brain behind our church's logo. Paula and I grew up in the same city, some of the same acquaintances and friends. Paula went off to school, got educated, and you know, doing her thing, music, and then she expanded beyond music, and now she is brand coaching, business consultant, and I've had the opportunity to sit in a few, as we would call, like incubator groups where we brainstorm and look and assess our business and how we move. And she literally in the room of, our group, she is literally tailoring to our specific needs because we all had different needs. And she's able to go down the line and say, okay, share with me what you got going on. All right, we need to kind of make the adjustment here, make the adjustment here. And it was a great experience. And I can't wait till our next session. Um, I can't wait till our next session. And I am
Me either.
super excited, super eager. Hey, Mom, thanks for logging on today. So let's start with JP, man. JP, just say what's up, everybody, man, and just shout yourself out a little bit. Let them know what's up, what you do, where you're from, all that stuff.
What's up, everybody? Thank you, Jason, first of all, for having me on here. I love what you're doing. I've been tuning in throughout the last several weeks and just picking up so much value that you've had from some of the past years. So it's been really dope. Thank you for having me to be a part and to share this with Paula. So dope. I'm excited to get to know you as well. I've been following you the last couple of days, just kind of checking out your stuff, and it's really dope what you're creating. So JP, who am I? I'm originally from Cali, a Southern California boy, pastor's kid, raised in the church. And, I started off working in retail, and that retail journey took me from working in the store, actually working in the corporate office and branding, designing graphics for over 130 stores across the nation. I stayed with them for about 7 years and launched JP Designs Art full time. And that was, 10 years ago in December. I can't believe where the time.
Wow.
You met me when I was with Izod back in the day. So yeah, God
Absolutely,
has been really faithful. So I now work with a lot of record labels, churches, ministries, nonprofits, artists, small businesses, big businesses, just creating branding, graphics, social media presence, designing websites. As you can see, some of the art behind me is a lot of the cover art. God has really opened up some awesome doors for me. So my passion is to bring visions to life. So whether it be, just something small that you had in mind and saying, hey, how can we make this bold? How can we make this extraordinary and take it to the next level? That's what I really enjoy, working from conception to execution and presenting like this final product. So that's who JP is. You can follow me at JP Designs Art on Instagram, Facebook. You can visit jpdesignsart.com to find out more about my team and what we create. It's not just me. I got a team that are really able to deliver. So yeah, that's a little crash course in JP Designs.
Listen, guys, JP, when we first started, it was just JP. And I could email JP or text JP. And after a few years, he talked about God opening doors. Those were some big doors because I started going through an admin and it was all love, still same quality work, great work. But it was just like, okay, he handles that while I focus on that. So God is good. Come on, Paula, what's up? Tell us what you got.
Hey everybody, how are you? How are you today? Likewise, looking to know more about you, JP, and learn more about you. Your story is really, really interesting and inspiring. I am Miss Paula. I am sitting here with my new brand. I'm like a serial entrepreneur. This is the Cha-Ching Show podcast that I just started. And I'm also a writer for the Tap Into Patterson newspaper for the business column, which is also the Cha-Ching Show. I help small businesses rise to whatever that next level or next 2 levels is for their business and helping them understand that it's a marathon. JP, I heard you say before we got on how people are constantly rebranding themselves because your brand is really an extension of you, and we're always growing. We're always growing our products. Our customers are always growing. So I'm always trying to help entrepreneurs realize who their customer is, where their customer is at today. Sometimes they're not where the customer is at, and they need to be brought up to speed to be where that customer is so that they're able to deliver a quality, not only product, not only brand. Now we're delivering quality experiences. So for them to understand the experience that they need to give a customer in order to make that customer community is what I do. I come from, like you said, Jason, started off as a songwriter and a singer. And wanted to go into the clubs in New York City because I was on Hot 97 on Saturdays and DJ K Slay and Envy had put me on their mixtape. So I'm like, I know I'm hot, but I wasn't because when I went over there, they didn't know me. So they was like, no, you're not going to sing in the clubs. And Candy Flavas, which is my brand, my soy manufacturing of brand of candles and body scrubs and body butters, really birthed from that, me wanting to sing. I got 12 girls together. I was like, I know if I put these girls in some pretty outfits, they're going to let me come back to this club. If I can get the girls to sign the calendar, they'll let me sing. And it worked.
See?
And I took the name Candy because they would call Miss Paula Candy Flavor Girl. So I took the name, I took ownership of the name, trademarked the name, and then later developed the products behind it. And it was then that I discovered my love for marketing and for business, because I was always a songwriter and a singer. And ever since then, created Candy Flavors. Candy Flavors has been in existence for 10 years. And then later on down the line, created a nonprofit, Newsflash. Newsflash has been in existence now for 7 years. And now have the Cha-Ching Show, which is a brand new brand that I'm launching. So I love everything business. I love everything marketing. I believe there's a solution to everything.
Facts. I just want to say shout out to Paula and Newsflash. I had the opportunity to partner with her. Something that
Yes, you did. Thank
something
you.
that she and I, we don't share a lot. I mean, we don't share publicly what we do
Yep.
for each other, but we had an opportunity to partner as she was giving out tablets at the beginning of the school year, and our ministry was able to partner and donate a tablet in her community effort. So shout out to the nonprofit aspect, Newsflash. Please look out for them as they do their yearly community partnership and collaboration. So, looking for opportunities locally if you're in the Jersey area or just wherever, because this is the social media, this is the internet age, and it's easy to get in contact with people these days. So if you're ever looking for an opportunity to be a part of a collaborative effort, shout out to Newsflash. Definitely is going to be a blessing to the community. Okay, guys. So I told y'all I'm hungry. I'm ready. I'm ready to eat. I am ready to eat, guys. So, JP. So we talked. Both of you guys mentioned a little bit about branding. What is? Give me one thing. We'll start. This is for both of you guys. Give me one thing that you believe is um, important to branding, and that we should actually have an understanding, because we know that that is a colloquial catchphrase. So many people are using branding, my brand, but give us what you believe is a good understanding and definition for branding.
Yes. All right. So the big misconception between what a brand is and what branding is. So your brand is who you are when you're not in the room. It's your reputation. It's what comes to mind when people see your logo, when they see your product, when they hear your jingle, like when you hear ba da ba ba ba, that branding automatically tells you, okay, that's McDonald's. It's a feel good vibe. It's that nostalgia of, okay, I want those fries, I need that Big Mac. There's an automatic correlation of a feeling with who you are as a brand. So that's what a brand is. Now that branding is what makes that connection. So the jingle, that's branding. When they see your marketing or your graphics or your website or the packaging, that's branding. So branding is videos. It's your web presence. It's your tone of voice, the voice of your brand. There's so many different that create your branding, that support your brand and create that brand connection between who your consumer is and who you are, what your position is as a brand. So that's between brand and branding, the two friends that kind of play together.
Yo, that's good stuff. Paula, can you just share a little insight of how you coach people into developing that branding, or going from that brand to that branding? What are some of the things that you suggest on how one can really start to establish and push the brand?
I am always asking entrepreneurs what the story is. Well, why did you start? Why should I, as a customer, depart with my dollar for you? I have to be able to have a parallel universe where we exist, and it's usually inside of whatever your story is. And then I always speak about personality. I look at branding as a skeleton, and it needs heart, it needs a liver, it needs a kidney, and then we can start to put some arms on it, some fingers, some feet. You have to literally look at it like it's a person and it has a personality. So what type of personality does this person have? Because that's exactly what you're building is exactly what people are going to receive. So you have to be very intentional about that, because this all correlates to your dollars. This correlates to your customer base. So if you don't understand your branding, they're not going to understand it either. You have to be super, super intentional. So one activity that I always do is have them understand that it's a personality. And if this is a personality, what type of personality it is, because that's what people are buying into.
Got you.
Absolutely.
JP mentioned the way he answered the question. He started off talking about misconception. What is a misconception that you often run into when it's branding? What is a misconception?
A lot of times entrepreneurs, especially in the beginning, they think that branding maybe could just be just what the word is. Like if it's Dove, they just think it's just Dove. They just think it's
Your
Tide.
logo.
And I'm asking them, but what makes you reach for those products? Not the Dove. The branding is actually what takes place in your mind between you seeing it and you grabbing it off the shelf. That's what the branding is. And they're like, that's always like an aha moment. Because I'm always saying, like, whenever you're buying a product, it happens so quickly that you probably don't even notice it. You've already run through a scenario in your mind of how you're going to use that product, how that product is going to make you feel. I'll give you an example. If you're going as a woman, I like perfume. Going to smell different perfumes. I smelled, the last one I smelled, and I wish I would have bought it. I'm going to get it. Valentino got a new perfume out. It smells so good. And by the time I smelled it and put it back down, I had already imagined the dress I would wear with it, the shoes, the people I was going to be with. The whole experience took place in my mind. And they did that intentionally. They did that with the colors they used. They did that with the aroma. They did that with the lettering that they used. They did it intentionally. They meant for me to feel that way. So you as an entrepreneur have to be very intentional, understanding that people, it's an emotional connection. Every time we buy a product, it's an emotional connection to that product. You have to understand that so that you can make sure that you're giving your customers that experience. I'm going to keep saying that word, experience.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that branding is their logo. So I'll get a request saying, hey, I want to do a rebrand, and they're just wanting a logo. I'm saying, no. Your logo is for identification.
Yes.
It's not for communication. I want to see your logo and know who you are. Your branding to tell me who you really are and what I'm going to experience when I tap into that brand. It's so much bigger than a logo. That's just one tiny little. The logo is just like the icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So your logo is the identification. Branding is the communication.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Come on, bro. I'm hungry. I'm eating right now. I'm telling you, I can't wait to play this back because I can't take notes because I don't want to miss anything today. So Paula mentioned the story. JP, how do you implement that in your designing for a client? The story. Guys, do me a favor, guys. Please just do me one favor. When you get a chance, go to JP Designs Art IG page. Holy Ghost. Like when Paula talked about telling a story and imagining, I literally thought of your page. Guys, do me a favor. When you get a chance, go to JP Design Art IG page and watch the stories. But JP,
that's when you know you got a dope graphic designer too, because they're able to take a story, which is massive. A story is massive.
Absolutely.
And they're able to deliver it because they're able to deliver it in a logo. They're able to deliver it with the colors. They're able to deliver it with the font, the story. That's when you know you got a dope graphic designer.
JP, break it down, bro. Because see, JP used to send me color. He used to send me, hey, Jay, this is the color palette for this season.
Yes.
He was like, this is the color palette for this season. Okay, JP, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, there's so many pieces to the story. I would say for the most part, just know that the story is never ending. So you have to be present in your story to continue updating and communicating and conveying who you are, who you're evolving to. So, we started off with why you started. Why are you still? Is my question, and that's what it's got to be in the story. So the story is communicated through colors. The story is communicated through through activities of what is like current events, what's happening. So like for instance, you mentioned Google. At any time you go to google.com, you're going to see something that is current, whether it be a holiday, whether it be a current event, a civil rights event, somebody's birthday. Google is constantly telling a story, regardless of what the times may be. It's going to be something that people can connect to. So your story is authentic, it is present, it is current, it is engaging, it has somewhat of a heart tied to the brand, whether it be colors, fonts, imagery, the music, the background. There's so many different layers of the story that's going to convey, but the important piece is to be consistent with it and to be authentic with it and to never stop telling the story. So like even right now in COVID-19, a lot of people kind of put like the brakes on, like, wait, I want to see what's happening before I do anything. No, now's the time to keep going. Like this shall pass, right? So don't let us you gotta move with the movement. You gotta move with the present times and be current, be present. That's the storytelling right there.
Yo, we vibing right now. So we'll stay on JP and then we'll move over to Paula for this next piece. JP, we talked about the importance of packaging. You mentioned it a little bit with the logo and the branding part. Paula mentioned it a little bit, but can you share how important the whole presentation is? Like just what attracts? Can you just tap into that a little bit, man?
Yeah, absolutely. People say don't judge a book by the cover. We do. We do. And in order for me to put my trust in your brand, I need to see some quality. I need to see that I am valued. I need to see there is an appeal that is I can relate to. So some of the things that hit my project request form, I'm like, okay, you know what? You might be new to this, but we're going to work together to get you to a packaging can be great. So working in ministries, everybody doesn't have a budget for a full-blown photo shoot, right? The photo shoot might be in your cell phone. It might be you and your cell phone and you're taking a selfie. That packaging just went from what could have been an A to maybe a B or a C. So in this pandemic, a lot of people aren't doing shoots. What do? You invest where you can. Invest in your brand. So if like right now I have a ring light, so my lighting is right, my lighting is tight. If I can put my cell phone in the ring light holder and take some decent selfies with some quality lighting, that's much better than me holding it up right here. You know what I'm saying? So in the present state of the world, your packaging could make or break you, but you have to use what you got to get what you want, so to speak, and invest where you can in your brand. So make sure that you're investing in your brand with some quality imagery, with hiring a web developer or a graphic designer that can spoof things up. Okay, you don't have a budget for a graphic designer. There's some great free apps out there, like WordSwag. WordSwag is one of my favorite apps. I tell my clients, listen, if you can't afford me to do 20 memes, no problem. Download this app, select your background, drop in your text, and you're good to go. So to get into a lot of the free resources that are out there so that your brand image, your packaging can be 5-star and really stand out quality above the rest. Set yourself apart.
Yo, that's good stuff. Before we get to Paula, again, I want to shout out JP. At the beginning of the quarantine, we were going through, churches were being, the buildings were being closed and people couldn't have service. JP assisted with creating a bundle package for ministries to use, and all they would have had to do was go into wherever they, can get some type of text to put on it to communicate where they're having service or what platform they were having it on. So shout out to JP, man. I appreciate you for that. I definitely use a couple of those joints for communicating. Paula, JP talked about investing into into your company. Just can you just highlight that a little more? Talk about like just how vital it is. Like, you know, even if you don't have the budget, just the time, the research, the money when you get it. Can we just tap into that a little bit? How important?
Yes. A lot of times entrepreneurs, you know, love to say, you know, I'm looking for an investor. First, I don't know why, but that's like the first thing is like, I'm looking for an investor. So I'm like, but what have you done? Because most investors have to sort of see what they're investing in. So like you said, I might have $50 right now, right? And that's not really a lot. So what am I really gonna do with $50? Well, what JP said, $50 may get me the table, the table light. $50 may allow me to take a course that helps me understand social media marketing better. However you can. I said this on the podcast the other day. With so many things right now being out of our control, whatever is within your control, you have to do it and do it very well because it's within your control to do it, because there's so many things that we don't have any control over. So for those things that you do have control over, the investment into yourself is going to always be the best investment. I know one of the things that I'm always preaching about, especially, let me tell you, I was just speaking to a graphic designer, and I said to him, you know, I'm not being funny. You never go to school. I never see you like going to take another course. And I would think that you would want to because of these apps. There's so many reasons why people may not need to access you the way that they used to. So it behooves you to say, I don't care what app you take, and it still isn't going to give you the quality of what I got as far as the value of the education, as far as the value of might take you 3 hours to do something that's going to take me 10 minutes to do, and time is a valuable asset. So it's important about the education piece for me. I'm an education person. Like, you should always be going back. Even with myself, I got a master's in business that was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So much has changed. If I have to constantly keep understanding, okay, at that time when I graduated, digital marketing was just becoming a big subject. Digital marketing is the subject right now. So it's so important, that education part. You constantly have to, I don't care how much of a professional you are and how many clients you got, you have to constantly invest in education, so you're constantly being able to output that.
Oh, that's good. That's good
stuff. Look at any way to invest in yourself. Right now, there's too many free courses for people to not be taking any courses. There's a million free courses.
Yeah.
So right from business to leadership to social media marketing, a lot of entrepreneurs are solopreneurs. So they are all these people. So it's important for you to really get your grounding on understanding how you can be the best at whatever you have control over, which isn't much.
I could jump in. One of the great reasons free right now is Udemy, udemy.com. They just launched their free resource center, and you name the course they have it available for free.
Like Coursera.
Udemy.com.
Coursera too. Coursera has some that are free, some that are paid, and it's some from like the top universities are offering free courses. I mean, so like it's just no excuse. And I think it's important for entrepreneurs to know, people know when you're not investing in yourself. That's very evident.
Oh,
that's very evident.
Yeah.
So, and when they see that, it's sort of like, I can't take you serious. You don't even think enough of yourself to spend $100. I'm not spending it.
It's like the hairstylist, hair looking like who did it and what for. Like, wait, you gonna do my hair? No, I'm good.
So you have to invest in yourself. You have to.
Absolutely. So, and the part of investing in yourself, JP, when did you, how did you experience the growth? What was your process? I know, other than you doing good work.
Yeah, good work is definitely a piece of that. I would say, one of they're only failures if you don't speak about it. So I wouldn't say that it's a learning lesson, right? So my learning lesson was building a team. If my dream was big enough for just me to create, then I wasn't dreaming big enough. So my growth really came from saying, hey, I need help. I've learned collaboration is the new currency. So connecting with other creatives and saying, hey, listen, you got some really dope websites. You do some motion graphics. You do some really dope 3D imagery. How can we collab together so that I can strengthen my brand, I can help you as well, and it's everybody's winning. So like the more collaboration, the more wins you're gonna get. So building a team, partnering together, that's when you really grow and you evolve. If it's big enough for you, then it ain't big enough.
Woo! Paula, I need you to join in on that one. The growth process. What has it been like for you? You know, as you stated earlier, you started with the music, and then you branched out into this area and launching Candy Flavas, and then now consulting organizations and businesses. Like, talk about that process of your expansion
So
and
much
growth.
like JP said in the beginning, I have a control problem, right? So I do, and I feel, you know, it's just the thing of like, I know if I'm gonna do it, it's gonna get done. If I said that I'm gonna do it, you will rarely meet somebody that said that I made an agreement that I didn't keep. I keep my agreement. So that part makes me like giving the work to somebody else, but you're not gonna grow if you don't. You have to allow that, because you're just not going to grow. Up until Newsflash, I've always been I started Candy Flavas, but I brought 2 people in. And when it didn't work, those 2 people left, and it was me. And up until Newsflash, the nonprofit, is when I got a partner. And I did what I did. I'm always the face. I'm always the person that's the face. I go, I talk. I'm the relationship person. I can get great sponsors. But then I learned to have a background team. Some people don't want to be in the front, but they're in the background. I have an assistant. I've had an assistant since 2013 named Shalea Williams. And like give you an example with Newsflash, I set them up and she knocked them down. You know, I go in, I wow them, I get them to be interested in what the cause is, and then they commit. And then the commitment, they say, I'll commit $500, I'll commit $1,000. I'm not that person to keep, because now, what JP said, I need to go out and get another one of them and another one of them. My assistant then is the person that makes the 15 follow-up emails and phone calls. So I would not, Newsflash, I have to say this, would not be successful without my assistant. It takes a team. And then my partner was always the money person when we started. That was the person that put up the money. That was their role, was how much does it cost? You know, how much is all of this going to cost? Until we begin to get sponsors and investors, again, going back to investing in yourself, they saw what we were doing and said, hey, I like what you're doing, and came aboard. And now with the Cha-Ching show and with the business, I do my consultant under 176 E-Marketing Group. That's my other business. I do all of the consultations for businesses, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs under that brand. And that operates with 3 people. You just don't know it because you only see me. But there are 3 other people that are helping make that happen. And then, you know, in the world of automation is making everything so beautiful. So, you know, that takes a lot of the weight off Shalea, you know, with the follow-ups, with the automation now has come into play and has allowed, I look at automation as my other team member. Like automation is my dog. So
yeah,
I had to come out of that control. And I'm still working on it because it's not gone. Working with myself to relinquish control so that I can be the best of what I'm supposed to be. I'm not the best of what I'm supposed to be if I'm doing the administration work, the finances. I'm burnt out when it comes time to be the creator.
Listen.
I'm learning that I have to, and like JP said though, that gives you a goal, because in order to have people on your team, you gotta make sure people are eating.
Yeah.
You got to make sure that they able to feed their families. So in order for you to do that, you have to be bringing in the revenue. So it gives you a challenge every day to get up and make sure that you're getting it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man. The number one entrepreneur is to provide for their family and empower others to do the same.
Yep.
So when you've got your brand, your table is set. Okay, come on, now it's time for me to invite some more people. Come on, let's eat.
Yeah.
Eating with your family, then that ain't enough.
You don't want to be around a leader that's like the way JP is talking. You don't want to be around a leader that doesn't think like that. You want to be, because that leader is going to constantly have things growing. It's going to be food in the garden. They're constantly planting.
Come on in the garden.
They have an understanding of, I need sunlight. This is the team. I'm planted the seed. I'm the leader. But I still need sunlight. That's a team member. I still need water. That's a team member. I still need good soil. That's a team member. So person that JP's talking about is the person you want to be with, because they're going to have a garden, because they understand that they need these different team members in order for that harvest to come.
Yeah, I am talking to 2 PKs today, guys, just to let you know. These are 2 PKs. So if they get a little preachy, it's in them.
I just caught on, preacher kids.
Yeah.
Come on. I just need a Hammond organ. Tune me up.
I think that's what it is, Jason.
Yeah, and it's a thing. They have conferences and everything for them. What are you talking about?
For real.
So what I'm loving about this is that God has given them another type of pulpit that they are thriving from. And they've taken that foundation and found other ways to be a blessing to the world. And that's why I'm really appreciating you guys today. So the next part, man, Jay, where do you pull, and Paul, I want you to think about this. Where do you pull your creativity from, man? I remember you being in Patterson a couple of times, and you were at the Art Factory, and then we ended up at Jacksonville, and you was just like, Jay, you guys have so much. I'm plugging Patterson right now. Don't read everything. Don't believe everything you read in the newspaper. I'm plugging Patterson right now. We have some jewels here. JP, you talked a little bit about the Art Factory, just how it was so inspiring. Jacksonville, just the venue, the way it looked. Where do you pull inspiration from, bro?
Man, inspiration is everywhere. And you really have to pray for just the clarity to what's being downloaded. I mean, I don't want to get too deep with it, but I mean, I can be out for a bike ride. Praise God, I'm trying to get fit, trying to get this body together during the quarantine. So I'll just be out riding my bike, and I'll see the wheels spinning on my bike. I'm like, oh, you know what? That would make a dope background for some cover art. Sure enough, I pitched some cover art last night that had like a wheel spinning behind it, and that was like the animated version of the cover art. There's inspiration everywhere you look. Some days I might pull out my whole entire DVD shelf and lay all my DVDs out on the floor and see, hey, what jumps out at me? What's speaking to me here? Okay, I see this, I see that. Let me tell you how they did a composition here, and then I'm going to take the color palette from this concept and pull from there, and then I might add a little bit of texture because I got this book sitting here and it's got a little bit of grit to it or something to that effect. Inspiration is at your fingertips. There's also putting yourself in rooms with other creatives that are going to pour into you. So like I try to get to as many conferences as I can. Yesterday, I was watching a webinar or listening to a webinar of the How Design Live conference. And this speaker was like really going in about creativity and teamwork and team building. And so putting yourself in environments like with Jason Moody, this is where you're going to find inspiration. So being open-minded, really putting your eyes on to see beyond what meets the eye, but to see past it and deeper. That's where I see inspiration all the time. Watching TV, hitting on Google and scrolling through, seeing what's popping. There's inspiration everywhere. It's at your fingertips. You might just scroll through the mall and see what's in the storefront windows. Like everything is like something might stand out to you that can speak to you and inspire you. It's within as well. So
that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Let me ask you this now. In the course of your schedule, how do you manage your time? Do you take breaks? Because we're living in that era of I grind, team no sleep. But then I've also read that when you're tired, it caps your creativity. So what do you do to refresh, to maintain creativity?
To refresh, life-work balance is a constant juggle. It's a constant balancing act, but setting boundaries is really what is going to protect your peace and allow. I always say you can't pour from an empty cup, right? You're supposed to pour from your own. So if I'm constantly pouring and I'm not taking time to refill, then I'm no good to anybody. I can't love you if I can love myself first, right? So putting time in my schedule for lunch, I usually try to break between 12 and 1. Some I might squeeze in a little power nap here and there, or I go off like my 5 to 9. Okay, that's going to be family time. That's my time to work out. That's my time to step out. And if I grind after 9 o'clock, good. If I don't, it's okay. We have to be okay with not being always being on. It's okay to not be on all the time. And we're in a constant grind, but in COVID-19, God is saying, like, listen, pause, smell the roses, hit reset, set your priorities, focus on me, focus on family, focus on your business, focus on yourself, put all these things in order so that you can be your best self. So it's okay to not always be on. Let's make it okay to not always be on. And it's okay to not always be okay either. We got to speak, we got to communicate, we got to express ourselves. So yeah, I mean, it's a constant balancing act, setting boundaries. Like, some people love to get my cell phone number. I don't mind giving out but my cell phone is for my personal use. I got a business line for business. I got an email for business. These are channels that I have dedicated to specific communication. So if my cell phone rings, I want to know it's my friend calling me because you love me, or you need something, or you want to help something. I don't mind. But when it's like, hey, business on my phone, like, hey, okay, let me have this conversation with you. This boundary is, let me establish this boundaries, because boundaries protect your peace. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of different things for everybody to put into place. You might be okay with getting business text. That's cool. That's you. Do you? But communication is key. So I think setting boundaries will protect your peace.
Yo, that's good stuff, Paula. I'm coming to you. But guys, I just want to let you know, like I said, when JP was growing, I got the text, hey Jay, can you send it to this email? It's just, he actually, I want to share this, Jay. Like, you really helped me to be a little more detailed and exact when I'm communicating with a graphic artist. I think, because sometimes, like, you have these like ideas running through your head and they're trying to interpret what you sent, and you really helped me to be more intentional and more accurate and send everything where it's not a bunch of corrections when you're done. So that way you get time back and I get time back from going back and forth and correcting a bunch of things.
Absolutely. Help me help you. Clear communication is key.
Absolutely. Paula, we were talking about the balance of time, and I know you are a workaholic. So what have you been doing to adjust and balance your time as a consultant, as running your own business, as a primary caretaker for your boys, and community advocate? Let's add that to your let's add that to your resume. How do you is Paula always on?
Yes. And I don't have I do and I don't have very clear lines between business and personal. So my personal life is business too. So outside of my kids, now my kids, I'm mom. But even with them, I'm mom, the entrepreneur, because we're usually doing something that revolves around business. So I'll give an example. Like, most parents right now, I'm homeschooling. Our kids are home from school. And, it's giving me the opportunity to really adjust the way I want my kids to learn, right? You've been following me for the last 2 years. I've been threatening, like, I'm just going to homeschool my kids because I'm generally not satisfied with the traditional educational system. So what it has given me has been very challenging, though, because I'm used to them being in school by 8 and then me having like from 8 to 5 to rock out, which is a lot of time. I get a lot done. Whereas now my day starts like 10:30 because I have to get them up. If I was to go and show you, my living room is sort of like converted into a classroom. I have a board up so that, I understand, like I try to understand how my kids need to be successful. You know, sort of need to understand what the plan is for the day so that he understands what my expectations is of him. I list them, what they are going to be for the day. So my day is getting started later. So I'm not having as much time to work on the projects that I want to work on. And it has been frustrating. It has been very, very frustrating because I want to work. I like to work. It brings me a lot of satisfaction. I think it gives me, like, I need to wake up every day and have a purpose and have something that I'm aiming for. So it's been hard and challenging, but I've had to really become tight, streamlined around my time. So I went back to a tool that I used to use in grad school, which literally I used to write out from the time I woke up. And it's a timing tool that my teacher actually gave me to help me be more successful. And when he gave me that tool, I started getting straight A's. No lie. It was around time. He could see that my grades not being so good in grad school in this class was literally because I wasn't having great time management. So that's really what it's come down. So I wake up, I write it in, wake up 6 o'clock. So I go by this schedule, and it literally lets me know. So if JP was to say right now, hey, I want to get with you on Friday at 1 o'clock and chat it up for an hour, I can look at that and really be honest about the time I may have or may not have to do something like that. As opposed to not having it, you always think you have time. You all in my mind, I probably would say, oh yeah, because in my mind it's not that much to do, and an hour really isn't that much time. But if I look at the sheet, an hour may be too much time. I don't have it. So for me, I have to use like tools like that to keep me sort of in check, and for me to be able to build out projects to say, okay, I know this week I'm working with 3 clients. And something about that for me, I take that very seriously. Like I take it so seriously that somebody else came to me. I think birthing a dream is so intimate. So I treat that process like with kid gloves. So when you come to me, if I take out the time, I'm really taking out the time to invest everything into you in that session, because I want you to go away with the most, so that I love entrepreneurs. I think that creators are God's, like, I think I wrote this before. I think God loves us all, but I think he loved creators differently because we create. So I just think it's just something to take something that was here and actually have it come into a real life thing. It's something that's just like absolutely magical. So in order for me to be able to have the energy to invest, I have to use tools like the time management tool, because without it, I'm honest, I'm lost. I'm doing too much stuff, like you said. So then, so when we talk about time, I don't want to be the community advocate, to be honest with you. Like Jay, I'm telling you, people think, oh, go to Paula, she like to fight. I don't because it takes the energy that it takes for me to jump on posts, to write letters, to do, that's the energy I need to get the next 3 clients. It does not make me happy to have to do that. So when you see me doing that, and you see me doing it with such an aggressive nature, I'm doing it because if I took the time out from doing the things that I should be doing to do this, I got to get something accomplished from it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. What does the time management tool have a name? Is it an app?
No, it's just something. It's just a sheet. It's a sheet that has time. Monday, Tuesday with columns. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it goes hour by hour, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And I fill in what I'm doing at those times so that I can truly understand. And when I'm filling it in, I try to do it on like Saturday or Sunday for the upcoming week. And when I'm doing it, I can literally see like why I haven't been successful in some areas, because I had thought that I've had a whole lot more time that you really don't have. You really don't have the time that you think you have.
Yeah.
So it has to be used wisely. Like it has to be. It can't be used arguing on Facebook. I'm not being funny, but for me, it can't be used arguing on Facebook about recycling. I can't do it.
Come on, advocate.
But for me, it may be that I have kids though. So for me, I may have to take the time to argue about virtual lessons being taught. That's my kids. So I got to make sure that they're good. So I have to be super laser focused about where I'm allowed that time to go, because I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot. I have the Cha-Ching show. I have 176 e-marketing, where we do one-on-one business and marketing coaching. Then there is Candy Flavas. I got to get up and make candles and body scrub and ship it out. I don't have the time, and I still have to be a mom.
Yeah, good stuff.
So it's like you got to really think about what deserves that slot. For me, it's slots. So what deserves that slot? Not much.
Yeah. Good stuff. Real quick, guys. Both of you guys sell services or have services that you offer monetarily, but then you've also expanded into merchandise. Let's start with Paula. You mentioned candy flavors. Are there any platforms that are good for those who are into merchandising?
You say platforms for selling or
platforms for selling? Yes.
I'm telling entrepreneurs right now that are selling products, like products. I'm not jumping you straight into a website because of social media has become so savvy in allowing you to sell your merchandise. And so you have Facebook and you have Instagram. I'm just using those two. I didn't even bring up Twitter. You have those two platforms. Now, if I'm using Facebook to engage, that's a place where I can engage, get information, understand what customers like, understand the personality of the customer. Instagram is straight about money. So I say to them, you like JP said in the beginning, you don't have a lot of money. You have to be very, very wise about prioritizing where that money's going to go. I just personally don't think for a lot of companies right now that you definitely have to go into a website. You will have to go into a website, but it may not be. I do things by phases. The first phase, which is the first 3 months, I'm not pushing people to a website. I'm telling you to build that audience. Go to Instagram, go to Facebook, build that audience. Let them get to know your product. Let them get to know your services. Let them get to know the branding so that when you do build the website, they're there. They're already there to understand, to be a part of that community. So I'm telling them to use what's already there. That's a free platform so that you can now take that money and maybe, I think right now it's more important to use the free platforms and use somebody like JP to build really, really creative internet commercials for you. I think it would be better to spend your money on an internet commercial than a website at this point.
Wow.
So use the free platforms that's there to sell the product right now. You can come back to a website later and take that money and really use it for the visual marketing.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. JP, I've definitely had the opportunity to wear a few of your things, man. What platforms do you use and what platforms do you suggest? Because I know you're not stocking t-shirts at the house.
I'm not. I'm very much a automated set and forget it type person. So Spreadshirt is the platform that I use to sell my product. Basically, you can upload your art. You can put it on 50 different types of shirts, whether it be tank tops, t-shirts, sweatshirts, aprons, phone cases, mouse pad covers, you name it. You can put it on pretty much anything, water bottles, and you set what your commission is. If you want to make $4 off of a shirt or $20 off of a shirt, you set your price and you get a check at the end of the month. You don't have to print anything. You don't have to ship anything. You don't have to worry about customer service. They handle the entire process for you. So spreadshirt.com, that's SPREAD shirt, spreadshirt.com is a great platform for you. But definitely kind of to circle back around to what Paula said, I definitely am a proponent of for social media presence. It's vital. It's vital to be on Instagram. It's vital to be on Facebook. My issue is you don't own that. You don't own your content. Once it's out there, if Instagram wants to pull you, if Facebook wants to pull you, they want to shut you down, you have now officially lost your platform, your contact with your customer. So if you do have a website or you can't really afford to have a full-blown website, start with the basic of most basic sites. Go on Wix and set up your homepage and set an email capture on there. So you're pushing your customers from Instagram and Facebook to sign up for your newsletter or your database.
Yeah,
so now you're building your database, and that alone through MailChimp or through Constant Contact or whatever you want to have it connected to, so that you have a consistent stream of communication to your base, regardless of Twitter, regardless of Facebook or whether they keep you up or they pull you down. That way you have a constant connection. So it is important to have social media because it's free, but keep in mind, you don't own this. You are at their will. Whatever Facebook and Instagram says goes. So you want to be able to own your stuff. I feel like Tyler Perry right now. Own your stuff.
No, you're definitely
build your own.
right.
Well, if they don't invite you to say, you build your own. So build your website. You can start small, you can start free, but the key is to really build your database of your clients so that you have a consistent communication with whomever is coming to you.
Yeah, he's right. I'm always, and that's something else I'm always shoving down, email marketing, because that's really literally the only way that you get to control the community, whatever that community looks like.
Right.
You're creating the language that you're using, all of that community that you're creating happens in that email marketing. So he's 100% right.
Wow, this is great. I can't wait to go back to the replay and take these things and apply it to really what's going on. Just a couple, like two more questions before we go, because somebody is watching and they are needing help in different areas. We've covered collaboration, we've covered having relationships, we've covered building your brand, or we covered building your brand. The next question: when is it time to rebrand? When is it time to rebrand? Let's go, JP. When is it time? Is there a time to rebrand?
It's different for everybody. I think it's like some might change based on they started small and basic just to get started, and they didn't fully embrace what they had, but they just needed to get started. So if you get to a point where, okay, now I can afford to fully wrap my mind around have evolved since I first started, then that's the time. When you have changed and grown and evolved to a point where the shoe no longer fits, it's time to rebrand.
Yep. Good example of that is Domino's. Domino's is Domino's Pizza. And then at some point, Domino's began selling sandwiches and pasta and wings and bread. And they said, we're more than just Domino's Pizza. And they did a whole campaign around knocking the pizza off the sign so that you would clearly understand we're Domino's, but we're more than pizza. That's what they wanted you to, that was the rebranding, was we're more than pizza. So much like to what JP said, it really depends on what changes may be happening within your company that you may need to look at and say, hey, we need to communicate that to our customer because we're no longer who they thought we were. We are this. Or we still are who they thought we are, but we're also this.
Also this, yeah.
Also this. Good stuff. Let me ask you, what led you guys to expand your services? Because again, JP, it's not just graphic design. Like you're an artist, and you create, and then you expand it to the merchandise piece, and then as well as you're now consulting. What was the influence behind that expansion?
So I don't like boxes. You can't. I'm too creative. Like, okay, so here's like a quick little story. When I was at Izod and I was working in my cube, this gentleman came one day and we struck up a conversation. Hadn't met him a day in my life. And the next day he came back and he said, I told my wife last night that I met a famous designer. I said, okay, well, cool. Who'd you meet? He said, I met you. I said, what do you mean? He said, the Lord told me to tell you, you're 2 yards away from your touchdown. Don't fumble the ball and don't celebrate your victory too soon. This cube is too small for you and it can't hold your creativity any longer. So for me to expand is really just me being authentically who JP is. If I'm living in my truth is I'm more than a graphic designer. I'm a visual creative. So I do t-shirts, I do consultations, I do websites. I design murals. I decorate offices and create branding for event spaces. That's just who I authentically am as a visual creative. You can't box me in.
Good stuff. Paula, I need you to chime in on this. What
Much
influence?
like JP, I just think that I have an array of talents. And I truly believe that whatever God has given us is never really just for us. It's never just for us. And everything that has happened for me or my evolution has just been organic. It has literally been one thing that just led to the next. I was songwriting and singing. And because I couldn't get in the clubs, it made me have to go to marketing to get to the clubs, which naturally brought Candy Flavas about. Okay, then I'm doing Candy Flavas, and it was just candles. And then it evolved to more products. And then it evolved to people looking and saying, hey, I saw you guys went to the BET Awards. I saw you guys went to BET Honors. How did you do that? That led to, hey, you need a consultation. We need to start talking and chopping it up about what worked for me and if it can work for you. And it naturally led into business consultation. So for me, it's just been a natural, gradual evolution. And that's how I know it's not over, because it's just not over. It's just not over. Like, even with the podcast, this is 2 years ago. I wrote the shows out for this podcast like 18 months ago. God will also send you people. It's a young lady named Makara Kong. I've never, ever, ever met her. I want you to understand this. I met her through social media. I can go around my house and show you, like, she sends me arts and all of this stuff for inspiration. Truly believes in me. She was the one that came to me 18 months ago and said, look, all of the talks that we have, I'm telling you, you need to do a podcast. And I was like, but I ended up doing the podcast. It's just been a natural evolution. And that I know that there's some things I'm working on right now that may not birth themselves for another year or two, that evolves from this point. So I just think it's a natural evolution. If you're a person that believes in growth, you're going to constantly find yourself in new rooms, at new tables, new experiences, because you're always going to have new opportunities. You're constantly growing.
Wow, this is crazy. Okay, so I got 2 questions. This next question is a little more personal, right? What is your greatest benefit from this? Because we talk about, when people hear about entrepreneurship, they have this vision of what it is. What do you feel is your greatest benefit in what you do?
Helping people, knowing that creation for me is big. Like, I really do believe, like, it's magic.
You said that real creation is big. I love it. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It is. It's like, and I truly believe that it's magic. And I believe that the magic literally comes from the biggest creator. So I feel that I'm doing a little bit of God's work, to be honest with you.
Wow.
In helping other people create. Because when we create, long after we're gone, dead in the dirt, what we've created lives. That's huge. Yeah. So for me to be a part of other people creating, I'm good. I'm great. I'm blessed. I'm so happy. And I'm happy that I get to wake up every day and do the things that I love. People wake up every day and hate their life. They hate their jobs. They can't really see the value. I know the value. I know the value of what I'm doing. And I'm thankful that I know. I'm thankful that I can be a part. Whenever I coach somebody, I thank them. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. Because it's an intimate experience and you've allowed me to be a part of it. I'm so grateful. It helps me to grow too.
Yeah, good stuff. JP, man, what's the biggest benefit for you, bro?
It's not for me. It's not by me. It's through me. Yeah. It's through me. So not even a tree is its own fruit. You know what I'm saying? The fruit is for the other people. So my benefit is really seeing that other people are fed, that other people are growing, that they are nourished, that something came through me that was able to bless them for generations, through ministries. I think about my father, who was a pastor, assistant pastor, and he was a bus driver for years, and 22 years. And he always kept his business card on him and would invite people to come to church. And I think about that church that started in our back patio before I was even thought of, that grew to one of the largest churches in our city, and how many souls were saved, how many babies were baptized, how many families got married there. And I think about, man, all of that came through him. It wasn't for him. It wasn't about him. it came through him. This is my pulpit. Just like my father had his message to give, just like he had things to save, I sit in this chair, in this room. I look around this room, glory to God, and I say, man, Lord, you have ordained me for this time to birth, to be a midwife to pastors, to be a midwife to business owners, to help them give life to what you planted in them. So it's not for me, it's not by me, it's only through. To God be the glory.
I don't even know if I want to ask this last question now. That was it's time for the benediction. Gosh. Okay, so as it pertains to business in this time of quarantine, right? And I want you to kind of give me 2 suggestions for the future. 2 suggestions for the future. What should we be thinking about? Where should we? You said what?
Not going back. Because you hear people, when they go back, they're not going back. So you should be thinking about the digital world, because that's what it is, right? So it's a digital world, and you should be thinking about data. Those are my 2. Digital and data. Everything needs to be measured now more than ever before. People are going to want to know the data. And you need to, as an entrepreneur, I know that's something that's like, oh my God, but you really need to understand what the data is and how you can use it to leverage more for your business. And then understanding that we're not going back. This is a digital world. Embrace it or get lost. Like, I'm so brutal on that part, because that whole thing about trying to embrace and, oh, I want to hold on to it's over. We're here now.
Surrender.
We're here now. So my thing is embrace this digital world, love it, get to know it, because it is the world. Okay. So it's like, if you don't do that, then you're dead. So either die or grow.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple. It's not an in-between area. You're gonna die or you're gonna grow. And you have to be able to accept that you're gonna have to do the data work. And it's like JP said, everything is so automated. The data is imprinted in a lot of your software anyway. You're just going to grab the data, but you need to understand it so that it can become applicable to your strategies. Those are my 2.
Jay,
That's
what
good.
You got for
That's
us,
good.
bro?
That's good. Man, how do you come back after that? Because she hit every bullet I had on my plate right now. I'm going to say a couple of things. One, reputations are built in hard times, not easy times. This is the time to build who you really are to your consumer. So with that in mind, I would say flex your values, flex your talents. You gotta get strong. You gotta display this strength. I'm strong in this area. I'm developing in this area. So flex your values, who you value as your customer, your team. Show your team that I value you by caring for them, creating dialogue, connecting with them, finding out what's really going on in their lives so you can support them, your team. So flex your values and engage your consumer. Meet them where they are.
Mm-hmm.
If they're on Facebook, go live. If they're on Instagram, go live. If they're scrolling through Instagram, post videos. Videos are going to get more traction than just another picture of you posting your plate. No, you got to post some valuable content in a video format that is going to get better traction. You want them to scroll, stop, look, and remember. Scroll, stop, look, and remember. That's what they need to be doing every time. Because when they remember, they're going to purchase. When they remember, they're going to connect. When they remember, they're going to share. So videos, stop, scroll, remember. So my 2 things, flex and engage.
And we're going to what he said, Jay, you can relate to that because of music. That's why the hook got to be so important. They got to remember it. They got to remember the hook to order to buy the album.
I saw you bopping when he was like, scroll, stop. Yeah, I saw. And remember, right. Guys, this has been absolutely amazing. I like to close every conversation with a prayer. I believe that this is the season where, even though the economy is bad, when you're really connected to God and how he moves, you won't go hungry. You won't go hungry. Needs will be provided. As we say in the culture, when one door closes, another door of opportunity open. We just have to be open to different doors in this season. It's not going to come the way we think it's going to come. We have to be open. So I'm going to pray. I want to thank you guys so much. Everybody that's listening, this has been a blessing to your life. If this has helped you in some way, please share. Please share. During this entire live, their contact information has been scrolling across the bottom. Check them out. I would even say invest in their services in their season, in this consultation. At least if you might not be able to, go all the way in with a full scale packaging, just at least have a one-on-one with them. Let them know what let them know what you have going on so that you don't spend too much time doing the wrong thing. Time is currency. Relationship is currency. We have two of the best. I need y'all to hear me. We have two of the best that are helping people grow, not just their business, but grow in their purpose. And I believe, guys, we gotta make sure in this season that we maximize. So let me pray. Father, thank you for this day. I thank you for Paula. I thank you for JP. I ask that you will continue to cover them, protect them, God, keep them in good health, give them peace. Whenever things become chaotic, I ask most of all, God, that you will continue to preserve them, that they'll continue to do the work that you have called them to do, that they're so passionate about, that it will be an inspiration to this world and it will point people to you. So I thank you today. Father, whatever they put their hands to do, prosper it. And I thank you for hearing our prayers today. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
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 Woo! Oh my gosh, I can't.
Bro,
wait.
I want to speak this over YouTube. I've said it before. You've probably seen me post it, but I'm speaking this over you that you may be in quarantine, you may be in isolation, but the windows of heaven are open for you.
Yes.
Outdoor may be closed, but the windows of heaven are open for you, brother. Thank you for creating this platform for us to share value and knowledge. God is going to bless you and blow your mind. I already know it.
Yeah, I just want to tell y'all something, guys. These two personalities are two opposite ends. JP, as articulate as he is actually an introvert. So introverts, you have no excuses in this season to step out. Paula, this is just what she do. She wake up ready. But I know that JP is an introvert. He can be in a room of 1,000 people and be okay in the corner or at the table chilling, or being in quarantine, just chilling with him and his workspace. So again, thank you guys for stepping out.
Thank you.
Bro, oh man, I'm excited. Y'all got me excited. But
we gotta do this again.
I'm looking forward to everything that you guys are doing, and I can't wait to hear more and see more. We're gonna keep pushing and encouraging one another. So again, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
All right, have a good one.
You too.